hear it for your Apollo's Vocal Ensemble. Tonight's AIA officials include referee Lou Philippe, umpire Ron Riffle, head linesman Richard Ahoy, linesman Gordon Heineman, back judge Jeremiah Weiner, field judge Spence Shockness, and side judge Dale Freeze.
I'm gonna need another battery for the camera. Yes, I'm about 3 bars. It should be fine until halftime. Got it. Oh, wait. Hold on, got it. Who do you want to get white? Who's getting white hat? Who is? Who get white hat? Okay. I'm gonna get the refs. I will. Okay.
A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you from the 5A conferences Apollo Hawks. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. Tonight's football game is brought to you by Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance Agency. For all of your insurance needs, contact Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance Agency. Cody Cameron and Kevin Derrybear alongside tonight. It is a fantastic contest here on the Zone 48. Mountain Ridge and Apollo, Cody. And when you just look at Marquee as far as the attraction and who are some of the players that we could feature tonight, and let's be honest, let's start with the Apollo Hawks and their talented tailback, Adam Muhammad. What can you say about this young man? He is unheralded. He is a fantastic football player. How about 14 games played? He is 23 yards shy of reaching the 2,000-yard plateau. Cody, we got a good one here with this young man, Adam Muhammad.
He is a do-it-all type of player here, Kevin. And when you watch his film, when you watch him play in person, I was able to do that 2 weeks ago. He literally does it all for these Apollo Hawks. And he is so special at making the first guy miss. He's elusive. He is tough. He's the youngest of four brothers, right? And
yes,
when you get the youngest in the family, you know, they're used to fighting and scratching their way out of fights just naturally in that brother group. And you can tell he has that fight in him. They love this phrase. He's got that dog in him. And Adam Muhammad is that guy. He is a phenomenal class of 2024 high school football player for Apollo.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he is an alpha dog. When you start to describe the kind of dog that he is, he's got a lot of ability, and he's got a lot of fight. And I tell you what, it is going to be a long evening with the PA behind us here, but we will bear through it. We are just moments away from opening kickoff. Let's look at the other side of the coin. Mountain Ridge, they come in with a record of 1-2. They had a tough loss against Hamilton last week, and the Huskies really put it on them. But a quarterback that is being talked about here in the west side, and that is Brendan Anderson. He's an all-region performer, honorable mention in the 6A conference a year ago, a 4-year varsity starter at quarterback at the position. This guy can sling it.
Yeah, he's a quarterback that college coaches have said in this recruiting cycle that he's the best pure thrower in the class of 2023 when it comes to quarterbacks in the state of Arizona.
That's saying something.
That is saying something, especially of how talented quarterbacks have been in the state. But Brendan can sling it. He's a pocket passer, but he also can throw very well on the run. They like to get him on some of these sprint outs, hit some of these big time receivers like Terrence Hall, who they have in the senior class here for Mountain Ridge. But Brendan Anderson, at any given night here, Kevin, he can go for 3 bills and 3 touchdowns. He's that type of quarterback.
There's no doubt about it. He has big-time playmaking ability. In fact, his next touchdown pass that he throws will be his 68th in his career. He is just under 5,500 yards passing the football. He is dynamic, and when you get that kind of accolade, you get that kind of mention or that kind of run, Cody, best pure passer in the Southwest, that's saying something. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, when you have that much game experience and that much talent, it starts to look comfortable. And I know he's had 2 tough games. Mountain Ridge as a team had 2 really tough games against two Chandler Unified teams in Castile and in Hamilton last week. But they look to bounce back, and they have the offense to do it. When you have a quarterback with so much experience like Brendan Anderson, it's easier to bounce back in a game like this.
Yeah, they lost game 1, 54-28 to Castile. Bounced back in week 2. They beat the Stallions from Shadow Ridge 38-27. And then you mentioned last week they had a tough one. They led 21-7 against Hamilton. They looked like they were in it to win it in that first quarter. In fact, it was just an impressive run by the Hamilton Huskies. I think they went on a 45-3 scoring run to erase a 21-7 deficit. And that's the game that you were talking about. Hamilton is a formidable opponent for anyone. For the Apollo Hawks, they're led by their head coach, Aaron Walls. He was the 5A Metro Region Coach of the Year just a season ago. His team was 8-3, and they had that first-round loss in the 5A conference in the playoffs, but they went undefeated in the Metro Region. And this year, 1-2 for the Hawks. They are out of the 5A Northwest region, so as always, each and every year, Cody, you see the landscape and you see the regions change.
Yeah, every year, it's like you said, there's so much movement, especially in 6A and 5A football. But with the schedule change, you get this crossover game. So here we are. This is the 6A versus the 5. Every 6A team plays a 5A team this year on the schedule. Mm-hmm. This is that crossover game. So you look at Apollo, right? Naturally, everybody's going to say, oh, this is a loss. You know, you're playing the big dogs in 6A. But once again, you have a player like Adam Muhammad. You have offensive linemen like Apollo has, and there's 2 names in the 2024 class that we will talk, throughout the entire broadcast that are legit offensive linemen, and an offense that is made to not give Mountain Ridge the football. Anything can happen, especially when you play at home, and especially this atmosphere, Kevin. This is legit, man.
It's dynamite. Well, you have 2 contrasting styles. We know that the Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions, led by their head coach, Doug Madowski, they want to air it out tonight. They want to put on an aerial show. That's what their game plan is. And then on the other side of the coin, for Coach Walsh, they want to slow it down. They want to run the clock, run the rock, control the clock. They want to use Adam Muhammad in the best way they can. And think about Muhammad. Talk about some gaudy numbers. They're eye-popping, Cody, absolutely eye-popping. In that first game, in that 48-42 win over Glendale, 307-6. Now, they were down their quarterback. I think he had over 400. In fact, let's just give it to you. 462 total yards of offense in that win over Glendale. That's how the Hawks like to run. They like to fly with their ground game in Adam Muhammad. We're ready to play football on the Zone 48. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron, and we are underway. And a big leg,
that's going to be a touchback,
a right-footed kicker for Mountain Ridge. That was Jaden Rogers. He's their place kicker. 5'10", 160, swinging that right leg through it from the 40-yard line and just blasted one to the back of the end zone. And that is where it'll be the Apollo Hawks with their first possession of the evening. This game is kicking off at 7:38. Here, a little bit of a delay. The Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions came into the Apollo High School just a little bit tardy this evening. There was an accident involving their team bus just before as they left the school, so that delayed things. No injuries. Everybody is safe. The good Lord has taken care of these young student athletes and their coaches and a lot of their fan base. And I tell you what, the Mountain Lions brought a big-time contingent here. This is a battle of the 6-2-3, some crosstown rivals out of Glendale. Chicharello, deep ball, near sideline, has a wide receiver there, and the ball is broken up. The intended target near sideline was Scott Simmons. A penalty marker thrown on the field, providing the coverage for Mountain Ridge. You had a couple guys there, Saxon, Davison, and I believe that Davison's a linebacker, so just think about that, Cody. If Davison's out there in some pass coverage, also there defensively for Ridge is one of their defensive secondaries. It looks like it's Cody Halpine back there, but we're going to get a penalty flag on the opening play of the game.
And how about Chicharello? Everybody's saying, okay, Apollo, stop Adam Muhammad. They go empty set, Adam Muhammad in trips right, and the senior quarterback, Chicharello, slings it up, and they get the PI right off the bat.
That'll move it up 10 yards, 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. There goes Muhammad in motion. He's going to fake it and taking the ball and running right up the middle with Silas Cicciarello, the quarterback. For Silas, he's a senior, 5'11", 162. Coming off a 233-yard outing in that last game, as they lost on the road at Campo Verde. And Campo Verde, they ran the football at will all night long against the Apollo Hawk defense.
And that's a great job by Cicciarello. You know, they're utilizing his strength here. You know, he can also run the football. He's a dual threat. They go fake fly sweep, midline read, right up the gut. You see about 3 or 4 Mountain Ridge defenders. You know, they have to chase Muhammad on that fly sweep, and right up the A-gap, Cicciarello getting 7 yards.
And he'll work in an empty set here with 3 wide receivers, 3 to the wide side, back to the air, and the ball is broken up. That's a PBU by the Mountain Lions. Great work out of their linebacking core. It looked like Austin Pocock was there, an outside linebacker, a senior, but you give him PBU, that's just great instincts to get that hand in there, lunging for the football and then knock it down.
Empty set, trips right, so that is your hook zone flat defender there as your outside linebacker. Jumps the quick hitch and breaks up the pass. But now we have a 3rd and manageable. And I'm going to tell you right now, Kevin, Apollo wants to play this game right here. They want to be in the 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3s all night long against Mountain Ridge.
No doubt about it. 3rd and manageable. 3rd down and 3 from their own 42-yard line, trying to use the hard count. They run it for the first time tonight. No, they don't. This is the 2nd carry of the evening. This is Cicciarello again, a little zone read. They're using Muhammad as a decoy. They're showing him as in a fly sweep mode, and then Cicciarello takes the snap and sees that crease to the left tackle and runs right behind that big guy. And one of those dudes over there just laying the lumber. 6'4", 280 is a junior. That's Matthew Lado. This dude is a talent.
And that's a great job by Cicciarello once again. Another midline read. So Mountain Ridge is in an odd front. They got 3 down guys on 3rd down. All 3 linebackers creeping up, showing blitz. He pulls it. Well, 5 Mountain Ridge guys are hunking down, running left, and big 1st down for Apollo.
Gain of 8 for Cicciarello. 1st and 10 from midfield. Movement up front. And you wonder just about the attrition factor and the fact that the Mountain Lions might be a little bit tight. They didn't have a tremendous amount of warm-up time. Do you anticipate any ill effects from the tardy start time?
Kevin, me and you talked about this in pregame. I have never played a game where I had to get off the bus and I had 17 minutes from getting off the bus to the opening kickoff. You know, I could do it now, you know, when we're going down playing 7-on-7. But in a big game and a true I've never done that. We're going to see if it.
The air steps through the pocket, wants to go down the middle of the field. The ball's going to be picked off. It's intercepted. With the football going the other way is Hayden Allen, and Allen is going to intercept the football. How about Hayden Allen? He comes in there and gets their first takeaway of the football game. Perhaps an ill-advised pass by Cicciarello. Really, there wasn't an open receiver that time.
Now, it was a good job by him stepping up and, you know, surveying his options. He had a lane to run, but he slung it into double coverage there. And Allen, the ball-hawking defensive back, steps right in front of the deep post. And the first turnover of the game, Mountain Ridge snagging the opportunity.
How about Allen? 16 tackles on this young season for all-region performer, honorable mention in the 6A conference a year ago. All right, it's Brendan Anderson. He gets the start, 6 foot, 200, and they'll run it right up the middle. Running the football for the first time this evening for Ridge will be their talented wide receiver. He also plays a little slot, but Terrence Hall gets the call. 5'10" senior Hall coming off a big game against the Hamilton Huskies. 9 receptions, 172 through the air, and a couple of touchdowns. How about a 39-yard long and an average of 19.1 yards a pop against Hamilton's defense?
Yeah, and Hall also averages 6 yards a carry. He's another do-it-all player. You know, I might use that phrase a million times tonight, but Terrence Hall is a super legit high school football player.
And he runs it again. He cuts it right, then cuts it back left, still on his feet. Then he gets absolutely slammed to the turf as the Apollo Hawks playing a little bit of chase on Hall as Hall lost his Perhaps he lost his towel initially, but that's another strong run. Working on that right side of the offensive line by Mountain Ridge. A couple of those guys that you look to up front. Alexander Deuce is one of those fellows. He, too, is an absolute stud. All-conference second-teamer is Alexander Deuce, a Northwestern commit. Snap back to Anderson. Rifles a pass over the middle of the field. Ball's caught in between the hash marks. That's Ryland Sands making the reception. 5'10", 150. You talk about a quick release, Cody Cameron. That was a quick release and a quick strike right on target.
Now he surveys his options so fast. He diagnoses the secondary extremely quick. But once again, you talk about the experience in him and his receiver, especially the senior receiving core that Mountain Ridge has. Ryland Sands, he's a junior, but he understands the spacing of the offense, and Brendan puts it right in his numbers. A big first down for Mountain Ridge.
Anderson to Ryland Sands, gain of 13. That's a chain-moving catch for the Mountain Lions. They're on the move. They work from the 27-yard line of Apollo. Here comes the heavy rush. Dumped out in the flat to the outside, and running towards the boundary was the tailback. Good pressure up front and a nice hit applied on the quarterback, Anderson. Coming in there to lay a pop on him was Brody Ciccarello, the other Ciccarello on this Apollo Hawk football team.
Yeah, but even for Anderson there, that's a hot route. So he has the blitz coming from the front side there. He reads it, diagnoses it. He might have even seen it pre-snap, and he hits the hot route swing right there. That's what he's taught to do. That's a great play by Brendan Anderson.
Working from the 23-yard line, and he wanted to throw the ball, get the ball in the hands of Terrence Hall, and the ball's incomplete. Hall just lost his footing. And that's something that we've seen early going through 3 or 4 weeks of high school football. There's been some guys that have lost their footing on these new synthetic turfs. Have you seen this at all, Cody? And what would you recommend for some of the shoes that these guys are wearing?
Oh, it's so tough because I never played on this turf. All this turf is so new. This is all that new cork synthetic turf. Almost every single school district has it in the state of Arizona now. You're exactly right. We've also had the craziest weather the last 3 weeks at some of these high school games, but that's what happened to Hall right there.
It's pretty damp. From the 23-yard line, there goes Hall in motion. Snap back to Anderson. Here comes the blitz. He throws over the middle field. The ball's going to be caught. Again, it's Sands, and Sands is going to move the chains. Excellent reception for him. Got to that spot in the zone, Cody, and just turned his body, and he was a great target, and Anderson threw another dart to Sands, his second catch on this drive.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the replay here, they motion to doubles. They get what it does is it gets the safeties to rover over, and that middle of the field becomes open in the too high look. Sands does a skinny post, and Brendan Anderson looks off the safety to the right, looking at Terrence Hall going on motion wheel, and Sands sneaks in right there, and Anderson once again, Kevin, absolute darts. I was not making this up. This is one of the best quarterbacks in all the state of Arizona. I'm so excited that we get to broadcast this up here and watch this kid play. He is phenomenal.
He's a talent. We watched that film against Hamilton last week. He made just about every throw. Now, he struggled a little bit at times. The Hamilton defense will make any quarterback struggle, especially at this level. Mike Sabeski does a great job of coaching the D as well. But Anderson, 295 through the air, 3 touchdowns. That was impressive. You look at the statistics, and those are some nice numbers. He did throw 4 interceptions as well, and he only passed the ball at a 36% clip. What were some of the challenges that Hamilton posed to him last week?
Well, Hamilton's a top 3 team in the state of Arizona. You know, I mean, it has been for a couple of years now, and or really the last 15, but really the last 2 or 3 years. Not only top teams, the fastest and most violent defense. So they're going to make any quarterback look that bad. But Brendan held his own. You know, that's what I'm most impressed with Brendan is he went back out there, threw a pick, and still had trust in his receivers.
He is. That's the epitome of what they call a gunslinger. No doubt about it. You got to be a short memory. Anderson to the end zone. Ball's caught for a touchdown. Who else is it going to be? Terrence Hall on the receiving end of that one. It's his 3rd touchdown reception in as many of the last 2 games, and he is red hot, and that is a lethal combination. We talked about it a little bit early, but Anderson to Terrence Hall, 10 yards away, and the Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions, they throw the first punch in this heavyweight bout.
You know, sometimes broadcaster curse will, affect a play negatively. You know, that's always the rumor. Right there, man, what can I say? That is trust in the receivers, and he throws an absolute dart. Terrence Hall snagging it in 2 hands at the highest point, and the first points on the board for Mountain Ridge.
He threw it right over the defensive secondary, too. That's a really good throw. Placement down, and the kick is on its way, and is up and good. Jaden Rogers hits this one right through the uprights. 6:54 to go in this opening quarter. It's Mountain Ridge 7, Apollo 0. And if you're looking for some offensive fireworks, this might be a good game to tune into tonight here on the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. Brendan Anderson right down the field. He was able to hit Ryland Sands on a couple of chain-moving catches. They worked the run game to Terrence Hall, and the Apollo Hawk defense really didn't have any answers for the tempo and the pace that Brendan Anderson delivered here on the opening drive of the game for the Mount Lions.
Yeah, and if Apollo's going to have a chance in this football game, we'll get to the keys in the game, but it's the turnover battle. It is 100% the turnover battle, and you cannot force turnovers against Mountain Ridge if you're Apollo. And Apollo was moving, man. They had 2 really good first down drives. Things were clicking, and they didn't even use Muhammad. They haven't even sprung him out, which is great, but you cannot turn over the football in this football game.
We anxiously await the arrival of Adam Muhammad in this football game. Rogers back on from the 40-yard line. High, deep, end-over-end kick, and staring at it and watching it go over his head is Scott Simmons. Ball goes into the end zone, and by rule, the ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. It'll be a touchback, and Apollo will begin their second drive of the evening, down by 7. But you referred to the keys of the game. 3 inside the goalpost for the Apollo Hawks and their head coach, Aaron Walsh, tonight. They want to play disciplined football. They've got to value the rock tonight. And they just want to execute, just to simplify some things. And when you think about Doug Minoski's team, 3 inside the goalpost for Mountain Ridge, they want to win the turnover battle, as Cody just alluded to. You mentioned convert third downs, and anybody but Adam Muhammad defensively.
And they hit 2 of those 3, literally in the first 6 minutes of this football game here. So I want to see Mountain Ridge's defense be violent and attack here, and we'll see it in the series.
Ciccarello out of the pistol. He runs it left to Muhammad, trying to feel his way behind that offensive line, and there's nothing doing. Great pursuit to the football. One of the linebackers, oh my. Looked like Jacob Reynolds was one of those young men down there. Gain of 2 for Muhammad. For Adam, he needs 23 yards to surpass 2K in his 14-game tenure. This is his 14th game for Adam Muhammad. And he has 3 yards rushing tonight on a couple of carries, 20 yards away from 2,000. But just the idea of 2,000 as a junior and only his 14th game, that's the story right there. 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Ciccarello, deep ball, near sideline, and the ball is caught. And taking it down the sideline for the Apollo Hawks, the big fella, 88, Isaiah White, and he's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown. 76 yards. Silas Ciccarello to Isaiah White. And the Apollo Hawks are right back in this football game with a big, big play.
I think they're calling a holding on the offense.
Oh my, penalty marker back around the 18-yard line. This would negate a 76-yard scoring play for Ciccarello to Isaiah White. And for White, he had 73 yards in receptions last week on 4 catches. 6'3", 185. He got past the secondary, Cody, and he did the rest.
So Mountain Ridge is really honing in on Adam Muhammad, meaning they're probably taking 6 or 7 guys wherever he goes, they're going to stop him, which means one-on-one opportunity is going to be on the outside. I mean, the safeties are playing really far down. You just had an outside release streak. That is a tough holding call on a play that maybe took 2 seconds to develop. That is brutal. And not just that it's a touchdown, that is a fast play. The quarterback's already in a shotgun formation. He drops 1 to 2 steps. That is 2 to 3 seconds max. This isn't a 5 to 6 seconds play there. That is a brutal holding call.
In this game, that is just unfortunate. I hate to see that kind of call in a game like that. Our referee tonight is Lou Phillip. The umpire is Ron Rifle. Our head linesman is Richard Hoey. The linesman this evening is Gordon Heineman. Our back judge is Jeremiah Weiner. The field judge is Spence Shockness. And our side judge tonight is Dale Freese. That is our AIA officiating crew. It is a big-time penalty, and that will force Aaron Walsh's football team to work from their own 7-yard line. They give it to Muhammad. Muhammad trying to break a tackle. He does. And Muhammad was loose at the 15-yard line, and coming over there to make a big-time stick was Mountain Ridge. That was Saxon Davidson, and Saxon, he's just a playmaker.
Now that's what Muhammad does, though. If you look at the replay right here, runs through 3 guys. I mean, he doesn't lose speed. That's why I'm so impressed with this young man's ability to continue. When he runs through contact, he's always churning his legs, and that's a special trait to do with that much power. People could talk about his 40 speed and, his 100-meter time. That is tough to teach. That toughness and that he's so versatile as a player.
Gain of 7 for Muhammad. Ciccarello into the air. Wants to go back to the tight end White again, and this time there's coverage is there, provided there by Cody Halpine. And Ciccarello took a shot And on the previous touchdown run, sorry, Cody, that was basically zero coverage too, right? There was no safety over the top. It was just one-on-one, and we'll look for that to happen again. Now, you see Muhammad line up in punt formation. That's right, number 24 with the blonde locks lines up in punt formation. There isn't anything that Muhammad does not do. In fact, even last year he blocked a kick. He blocked a field goal. He just does it all. He's a football player.
He's a football player, man, and he's one of the best in the 2024 class in the state of Arizona. That's a great job by Mountain Ridge there on third down, though, especially for Alpine, and just knowing the situation.
Muhammad has this one blocked. He picks it up, and he's going to get dropped around the 9-yard line. Excellent special teams for the Mountain Lions, and it was all set up by a special teamer, Austin Pocock, the outside linebacker. Second time we've mentioned his name this evening. He blocks the punt of Muhammad, and the Mountain Ridge are going to begin their second drive of the night inside the red zone. We'll call it the 9-yard line. First and goal to go. It didn't even give a chance for Terrence Hall to receive that punt, and already the Mountain Lions are in business.
Pocock comes off the edge untouched, lays out, effort play. That is an effort play, Kevin, and comes up with the big punt block, and no better field position than right here for Brendan Anderson.
That is unbelievable. For Brendan Anderson, 5 300-plus yard passing games in his career, 5 or more TD passes. He's done that 3 times. He had 6 against Fairfax last season. Snap back. This will be a pass play. They want to go to Hall. Hall's going to cut right inside, and he's going to score a touchdown. Untouched on a beautiful pass, a wide receiver screen. Terrence Hall, last year's Region Offensive Player of the Year, in the box for the second time in as many drives. And just like that, the Mountain Lions are up 13-0 with 4:59 to go in the opening quarter. Bang, bang. Brendan Anderson to Terrence Hall for the second time tonight.
This is the best, not one of the best. This is the best quarterback to receiver connection in the state of Arizona. Terrence Hall is that dude. He's incredible. Makes the first guy miss, cuts in, touchdown for that combo.
I really appreciated the cutting ability. Caught the ball outside there on the line of scrimmage, made one cut, and got that spacing that he needed, and they just took it into the end zone. That was fantastic. For Hall, his 4th touchdown reception in the last 2 weeks. He's on fire, and you talk about that lethal combination of Brendan Anderson to Terrence Hall. I mentioned it there just a minute ago, but Offensive Player of the Year, that's got to say a lot for the accolade that Hall received last season. Again, all-conference second-teamer, that bodes well. He has an offer from Morgan State. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to prove.
And we've said so much about Anderson already, but the same thing can be said about Hall. They complement each other. Hall is, when you talk about creating separation in a route, the speed out of his breaks, the hand catching in traffic, Hall checks every single one of those boxes. He is explosive as a receiver, as you're going to see here. Once again, hey, 40-yard dash, 100-meter throw it all out the window. This is a ball player, man. Terrence Hall is legit, and he's going to be another one. He's going to put on a show tonight.
Yeah, that 39-yard touchdown reception he had last week against Hamilton was just a beautiful route. But then the pass from Anderson, you talk about throwing a dime from 39 yards out. The arm strength was incredible. All right, back to Rogers. It's end over end, and it's taken on the goal line by Simmons. Simmons dodges the first tackle, and then he gets drilled. Special teamer up there to blow up the play. That is, boy, that could be, it looked like it was 9, Cody, but you know that's not the quarterback out there on special teams. Perhaps it was 8. Look, let's see if you can't pull that up on the replay right there. What a defensive play there by the special teams. You talk about the gunner shot out of a cannon. That was just great work.
Well, Kevin, we get at least 5 freebies in tonight's game because Mountain Ridge is going white with silver numbers, and it is impossible to see under the lights some of these numbers. So I'm going to give you 5 freebies in tonight's game because I got bad vision. You got the binoculars. It's amazing.
Hey, that's pretty good. By the way, good call there for the Mountain Lions. They're wearing their patented colors, if you will, the white, the silver. And there's a pass outside to Muhammad as Muhammad lowers the shoulder and trucks the would-be tackler. Unfair for
number 24, Muhammad.
For Cody Halpine. Halpine got trucked by Muhammad, and I give Halpine an awful lot of credit to stick his nose in there and try to take on Muhammad one-on-one. He slowed him down, but he was also a speed bump at the same token.
The same thing I talked about last series, the power that Adam Muhammad has when he's carrying the rock. He lowers the shoulder, and he never slows down. He looks for contact. He's that physical of a football player, and he's being active here in the first 2 series.
7 for 74 in the reception category for Muhammad. And this is a run play, and it's stuffed. It's blown up. The exchange never happened between Ciccarello and Muhammad. And on a run blitz, you had some dudes in there making it happen. Christian Aguilar, one of those guys there, number 10, in there wreaking some havoc. Cody Cameron.
Christian Aguilar, the best linebacker out here for Mountain Ridge. Violent. I was talking about I want to see violence from this Mountain Ridge defense coming on the 8-gap blitz and absolutely blowing up that inside read. That is a heck of a play from the senior linebacker for Mountain Ridge.
Outstanding defense. 14-0 our score. 4:03 to go. Opening quarter. Late start tonight. Muhammad in the backfield behind Ciccarello. He has 3 wide receivers to the wide side. Single set to the top of your screen. Ciccarello to the air. Steps through the pocket. Delivers a strike, and the ball is going to be caught just short of the first down, making the reception around the 30-yard line. That was Camarion Bell. Bell makes the catch. He had 1 reception for 8 yards last week. 5'8", 165, but it was a nice throw there. A penalty marker behind the play. Let's wait and see what this one's all about. But, Cody, you got to like the arm strength there of Ciccarello. As he has had some time, he seems like he feels comfortable in that pocket, slides up and is able to make that throw.
He stepped up, he took an absolute shot there to Christian Madowski, who shed it off the tackle and unloaded on Ciccarello, but he surveyed his reads. He didn't like the short arrow. He didn't like the deep streak. He had the deep curl, made it happen, plus the 15 yards tacked on. That's a great play by Ciccarello.
It was. Gain of 12 and the tack on the 15. Now they work from the 45-yard line. Ciccarello is going to play fake it. He wants to get the ball again to the big target, Isaiah White. And Isaiah White, just a sophomore, 12 catches for 179 with a touchdown last season for the big fella. In fact, actually, those are his numbers this year for Isaiah White. Just a sophomore, but Cody, you look at the size of that young man, you can't teach the size.
How about the catch down here that got called back where he burns past the corner? And I'm going to tell you right now, Kevin, they're coming back to that rocket screen because Mountain Ridge, there's 6 in the box, and they are all coming downhill. And the Force guys are coming. Everybody's coming downhill for Mountain Ridge. They're going to come back to that rocket screen.
Cedric Moore, the third in the slot to the left. Quick pass dumped over the middle of the field, making the catch right over the emblazoned logo. That's Scott Simmons. Simmons, all-region performer last year. All-region punt returner. Plays on both sides of the football. Had 22 tackles last year, but for Simmons, this season alone, he's been pretty impressive. Early going for him, just 10 catches, 152 for Simmons. But a quick strike, it's a 4-yard pass play. 3rd down and 6. Operating inside their own territory from the 49-yard line. Working left to right, wearing their all-blue uniforms with the trim in white. The Apollo Hawks and the Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions. Ciccarello gets the snap back, looks left, fires over the middle field. The ball's intercepted. It's picked off. Running with the football on the far sideline for Mountain Ridge is their linebacker. Looked like Christian Aguilar right over the middle of the field. Let's take a look at this one again, but it's Aguilar staying at home, Cody, and reading the quarterback's eyes. That was an easy pick.
Yeah, that was 10. I was waiting to see the confirmation there because, once again, it is tough to see out here. We just highlighted him, man. The senior linebacker, Christian Aguilar, staying in that middle zone. A good read. Reads his keys up front, drops into his pass drop, reads the quarterback's eyes, snags the pick looking like a tight end, man. Usually you're playing defense, you don't have hands. Christian with some great hands there and the big-time return by the senior linebacker.
CC, what do they say? They say it with your chest. It was Christian Aguilar, and he made the nice play. So they put the ball back in the hands of Brendan Anderson, and he's going to go deep, and the ball is in and out of the hands of the wide receiver, streaking down the seams. Ryland Sands, the wide open ball carrier, but just enough of the handwork in the secondary by the Apollo Hawks. Looked like Fode Kita, one of those guys back there to give him a PBU, but Ryland Sands streaking down the seam right on the hash marks there, and he was open.
Kevin, that was a tremendous look by Brendan Anderson. They were pre-snap too high. The front side safety rolled down, covering the middle. The over safety was rotating over. They went front side post, and Brendan Anderson put it right in the bucket.
Anderson wants to set up a screen. He does so right over the middle of the field, and this is the wide receiver. Gets brought down there by Mustafa Daya, the strong safety, 5'9", 182. The senior makes the tackle, and on the receiving end of that play was Parker Halpine. That is the other Halpine. You've got Cody and Parker Halpine, the brothers. And Brendan Anderson has his team inside the red zone for the third time tonight. 3 possessions, 3 times in the red zone, 3 touchdowns thus far. Or the first 2 touchdowns. Anderson to the outside. Making the catch was Conrad Curley. Another CC, a tight end, a senior. One thing that Anderson does, he makes quick decisions.
Makes quick decisions, Kevin, and he's got a variety. He's got so many weapons in his arsenal. He's already thrown the rock to about 5 guys. You know, it's not like, hey, this ball's only going to Terrence Hall. Hey, this is only going to Sense. No, tight end in the league. We got the hot route with the swing route with the running back. We're going to give it to anybody. Anybody who's the right read, we're throwing the rock to.
The tailback in this case is Austin Pocock. He makes the reception, tries to break a tackle, and can't do it. Great defense by the Apollo Hawks. Flying to the football is Talon Gallegos, and Talon's also their place kicker. Cody Cameron. You don't see a lot of place kickers putting their nose in a tackle like that. And I tell you what, Talon Gallegos, I like the form tackle. And that's just a tough play, but I'll take a kicker that wants to play football like that.
He had to come up, too, because they were going heavy blitz on that front side. They brought 3 defenders off the edge there. Brendan, once again, hot route, hot swing route, makes play.
Anderson under pressure for the first time tonight. He's going to go down. He's going to get sacked. The Apollo Hawks brought the pressure. Cedric Moore III, one of the 3 guys and one of those 3 blue shirts there. Also in the vicinity for the Hawks was big fella Joseph Sumter, 6'3", 210, sophomore. That kind of big, Cody.
Apollo doing a great job of keeping leverage outside, making Brendan come back in. When you make a player go back inside, where's it going? Into the defense. Is a great defensive play for Apollo.
Anderson works from the 10-yard line. Lobs one down the field, and the ball is nearly intercepted. He was trying to get the ball into the hands of Conrad Curley. Left that one a little bit short and was nearly picked off by the Apollo Hawks. In there defensively was Trey Smith. And had Trey Smith hung on to that football, he had an awful lot of real estate in front of him.
It's a great play by Trey Smith. They're in cover 0 lock there, and he turns and looks for the football. They brought the entire house, 2 houses on that play. Brendan had a back pedal, make the jump throw there on 4th and 3 just to get something, give his receiver a chance, but Trey Smith played the ball better than the receiver did on that play, Kevin. Great stop by Apollo, by the way. That's a huge stop.
That's exactly what my next point was. Just think about this for Coach Walls. How big of a stop was that inside the red zone? You bend, but you don't break, and you get the football right back, and you give your offense a chance. And why not give another carry to Adam Mohammed, see what we can't do with the football. 12 seconds to the end of the quarter. And running it right up the middle of the field, that's Muhammad. And that will be the final play of our first 12 minutes here from Apollo High School. We go to our break on the Zone 48 broadcast network, presented by Trey Clarkson's State Farm Insurance Agency. We move to the second quarter. Our score, Mountain Ridge 14, Apollo 0. You're watching tonight's Thursday Night Football on the Zone 48 broadcast network.
Inside us all beats the heart of an athlete, determined to succeed. We push, we fight, we sacrifice. Sometimes we fall short, sometimes we just fall. But we get back up, stronger than before. This is more than a game. This is our goal.
The world is changing. How business gets done is changing. Energy, success, even the face of entrepreneurship is changing. See how we're changing at bankofthewest.com/change. Bank of the West, the bank for a changing world.
With any deposit checking at Bank of the West, you can make any deposit, anywhere,
The Zone 48 broadcast network.
in
Press
any amount
box.
per statement.
We are live from Apollo High School.
and we'll waive your monthly service
Second
charge.
and 3. Oh, we're not even on.
Any deposit checking from Bank of the West.
We welcome you back. Welcome back to Apollo High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. 14-0. It is the Mountain Lions with the early lead, and here comes Muhammad in space. Second level, Muhammad to the outside, and he's going to be tripped up. Outstanding tackle on the outside by Mountain Ridge's. That is Clay, Lionel Clay, up there to make an outstanding open field tackle on Muhammad, who is kind of picked up a head of steam there and trying to cut it outside, and Clay did a nice job to take him out.
Oh, absolute monster hole provided by Apollo's left side of the line. And the play before, right before the quarter, the big junior tackle, Matthew Lato, was flattening Mountain Ridge defenders. The big 6'4", 280-pound junior tackle for Apollo, getting after it.
Like pancake flat, that kind of flat. White gets drilled, ball's loose, and it looks as though that the Mountain Lions have it. You talk about a bone-jarring collision. Penalty marker behind the play. And let's see what happens here. But the football belongs to Mountain Ridge if it stands up. But I tell you what, Cody, Isaiah White got absolutely annihilated by Saxon Davison. Davison is a true playmaker. He's a sideline-to-sideline middle backer, and he has made an impact here in the first 12 minutes and some change.
That was an absolutely tremendous hit by Saxon Davidson, putting the nose right on the football. I told you they were coming back to that rocket scream. They did, and no one blocked. The senior linebacker in Saxon Davidson just pummels the receiver coming on the rocket screen. Helmet right on football, shoots out, and another turnover created by this Mountain Ridge defense.
And we'll have to see what the penalty is all about. It'll be a personal foul against Mountain Ridge, but how does that affect the play?
I think it's after the play. I think that's a dead ball personal foul. I saw a little pushing and shoving in the defensive secondary after the recovery. No, they're saying Apollo football.
Yeah,
they just signaled Apollo. But
It's going to be a first down and 10 for the Apollo Hawks.
I swear that was a post. That is a post recovery, and that's what the refs are going to talk about right here, Kevin.
Isaiah White just got absolutely took a shot. You talk about having that ball dislodged that we saw there. Davison last year in 12 games played, 36 solo. He assisted on 48 more, 84 tackles, 11 behind the line. Saxon Davison is a tremendous talent. For Mountain Ridge, they play out of the 6A Desert Valley region. You look at their region, it's a tough one, Cody. You got Centennial in there, Liberty, O'Connor, Boulder Creek, Mountain Ridge, all really, really good football teams.
Liberty's my number one team in the state.
Yeah,
you know, and I live in
fantastic.
the East Valley. I watch Chandler Unified with Chandler, Bastion, and Hamilton every single week. Liberty is incredible. That is a brutal region to be a part of.
No doubt about it. Colin Thomas does an outstanding job over there, took over from Mark Smith. Anderson to work from the 40-yard line, has time, and he dumps the ball off out of the underneath route, and that was Hall. And how about the stiff arm that Terrence Hall just delivered to the Apollo defensive back? You talk about playing with a nasty streak. Hall has really what we call the it factor. He's got some really tremendous game. He's an entertainer as well.
Kevin, Terrence Hall is not your friend on the football field. He is your enemy if you're wearing a different jersey, and he showed the aggression there, just sticking the defensive back and putting him right into the turf. I love that physicality from a receiver.
He just ate up Brody Cicciarello. All right, they dump it off another. Or actually, here is Hall again, and Hall loves contact. It doesn't matter where he ends up. He wants to rub up against somebody. He's throwing a bow. He's throwing a forearm shiver. He's doing something, but he likes to engage in the contact.
How many times when you're watching football, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Kevin, you see a receiver naturally go down or run right out of bounds? They don't want the contact, right? Terrence Hall, he's not that guy. He's not that guy,
You're
pal.
right about that.
Terrence Hall is looking for contact. He wants to get as many yards as possible. He's north to south, and he is the aggressor at the receiver position. I love that.
Yeah, another way to describe that. People would say he plays with a chip on his shoulder. Yes, he does. That is outstanding. We love it. Play fake for Anderson to the end zone, and it's overthrown.
Pass incomplete.
He wanted the target over the middle of the field. That's a good-sized target. He wanted Nick Cardiff. Cardiff, a senior, listed as a wide receiver. For Anderson, his first game against Castile, he was 13 to 32 for 192 yards and in 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. And that win over Shadow Ridge, 19 to 32 for 298, 3 more scores. He's passed for 3 touchdowns in each of his 3 games here. Play fake again, Anderson to the outside on swing pass, making a move with the football for Mountain Ridge, trying to get to the boundary and turn the corners. Parker Halpine. Halpine on the receiving end. Oh, now when a penalty marker comes in late.
I love the RPO scheme they're doing there. I just watched the replay because they are really selling run. They're pulling backside tackle. Alex Deuce, the big Deuce, 6'6", 300-pound right tackle, Northwestern commit for Mountain Ridge. But they are showing that action. They are pulling him. He's staying behind the line. So all those passes are legal, especially if they're behind the line of scrimmage. And it's working, man. They're gouging Apollo right now.
They're making some serious inroads on this drive. 3rd and 6, Dins to the tailback. Pass is thrown over the middle, and the ball is incomplete. Running a post pattern was Terrence Hall, and a little too much velocity on that throw. But you have to, again, appreciate the arm strength for Anderson, the quick strike ability. This time, a little bit too much.
Well, how about Apollo, man? Big shouts to their defensive backfield. That's back-to-back third-down stouts for them after it looked like Mountain Ridge could do whatever they wanted at any time. So those are 2 big stops by the secondary for the Hawks.
These 2 teams played each other back in 2015. This is the 2nd time that these squads have gotten together. Apollo won the only meeting way back in 2015. So now, if you're Coach Doug Manoski, 4th and 6, you have that 14-0 lead. You're on the road, but you kind of feel like you're playing with house money right now, don't you?
100%. You're feeling confident, especially when you have a senior-led quarterback in Brandon Anderson, but especially when you have a player like Terrence Hall and Sands. I mean, they're going to have to double one of those guys, right? And
yes.
So, spread them out here. Take what the defense is going to give you. You don't have to go home run shot here, but I would put Sands and Hall on the same side, and whoever gets doubled, I'm throwing it to the other guy.
You go the other guy. For Coach Manoski's team, you look at their schedule. They have Apollo here tonight on Thursday Night Football. Then they get North at home next week. Looks like they have a bye actually next week. But then they get Boulder Creek in Anthem. Then they get Liberty and Centennial. They really start to open things up in that 6A Desert Valley. That's when they'll make their money or they won't. 4th down and 6 from the Hawks 25. Snap back to Anderson. Here he comes. He's going to get blitzed. He's going to get sacked. A heavy pass rush coming in on the inside. An A-gap blitz. And it looked like one of those guys with Matthew Lado and company making it difficult, disrupting things for the quarterback Anderson.
And that's our guy, and as you're watching the replay here on the broadcast, you see the left guard look back at Anderson, and he just gets blown up. Anderson gets absolutely blown up, and what a play by the Apollo defense. That is back-to-back series now where they clenched up and had some huge stops.
Cedric Moore, the third, also in on that pass rush. Give him a hurry. Huge turnover on downs as the Hawks stop the Mountain Lions, and they get the football back. They're still in this football game down 14-0 with 9:51 remaining till halftime. They begin this drive from their own 35-yard line. Muhammad is in the football game, and he's got the ball there. Turns it upfield, looking for some real estate to work with. Trying to break a tackle, and they're going to spin him down and ride him out of bounds on the 40-yard line. That is a tough earned 5 yards, Cody Cameron. But Mr. Muhammad, you talk about picking him up, putting him down. He is just working. Effort is everything.
Makes the first guy miss, stiff arms the second guy, jukes left, makes a third miss, and then it takes 3 additional Mountain Ridge defenders to tackle this young man. I mean, look at him. He's continuing to move his feet with 3 defenders on his back trying to tackle him. That is a powerful, powerful football player.
That is a real treat. He just really just like flicked off Corey Johnson like he's a gnat. Corey Johnson's an athlete in his own right, working out of the pistol. Mountain Lions show blitz. They run it to Muhammad, and he's going to get stuffed at the point of contact. nothing doing that time for Adam Muhammad. In on the defensive stop for Ridge was Cole Christofferson, a linebacker, just a junior, coming off a 2-tackle performance last week. But Christofferson, Cody, you talk about getting off the ball. He was firing off the ball and was very, very disruptive on that play.
Yeah, great job by Christofferson. And another player who was in there was Christian Medowski, Coach Medowski's senior son. And to note, he just came off the field holding his shoulder, Kevin, so hopefully Christian's okay.
3 minutes gone by, quarter number 2. Snap back to Ticciarello. Has some time. Throws a pass outside. Ball is caught and making a second move and then getting absolutely drilled was the wide receiver. I think that second contact, Cody, is going to get somebody in some hot water. Making the catch was Cedric Moore the third.
It's either that or a face mask penalty. If we look at it, it's big-time face mask penalty too. But that's a great dive by Ticciarello. When Ticciarello surveys his options in that hook zone, which has been open, especially off of play action, Kevin, that's there. And they're going to get 15 tacked onto there. And so throughout the game, Kevin, minus the touchdown that got called back, yes, Apollo's offense has moved the ball. They have utilized RPO and the fake fly sweep, midline read. There's been holes there, and they have executed. They just cannot turn over the football.
No doubt about it. Part of our 3 inside the goalposts, play disciplined football. So it was Camarion Bell making the reception. It was a 12-yard catch, and he got drilled, and the unsportsmanlike foul occurred there. So this will be Muhammad, and Muhammad is going to fall forward for a couple of yards. One thing that the Mountain Lions are doing a pretty good job of when they have a chance to in trying to tackle Muhammad is they're trying to wrap his legs up down low, because you can see you can't take body shots from this man. He will win that war, and obviously he's demonstrated the stiff arm here. We haven't seen the stiff arm in the high school ranks in an awful long time. We've seen it on display tonight, full display with Terrence Hall and Adam Muhammad.
We might have the stiff arm of the entire season with Terrence Hall's, man. That was pretty incredible.
Phenomenal. 2nd and 8 from the 35-yard line. Here comes some pressure. Ticciarello steps in the pocket. Deep ball, far sideline. The ball is incomplete. He wanted Muhammad. Oh, my. It was a jump ball on the far corner of the end zone. Just before that, defending the play was Cody Halpine, and it seems like that the Hawks have tested Halpine on numerous occasions, and Halpine has answered the challenge every time.
He had him, too. He had him, Kevin, and they had Muhammad one-on-one. He was about 5 yards past the defensive back, and Ticciarello, I think, because he had to step up, because he had the front side pressure, wasn't able to get him in time, and a good recovery by Halpine. He was able to get his hand in there and dislodge the pass right when it hit Muhammad's hands. That's a tough break for Apollo, though, because that was a touchdown.
That was good coverage. Now they'll face a 3rd down and 8 from the 35-yard line of Mountain Ridge. Clock stop with 8:02 to go in a 14-0 ball game. Snap back to Ticciarello. Feels the pressure. Slides through the pressure. Pocket collapsing. He's going to throw it on the run, and the ball is caught. He's got the tight end, White, near sideline, breaks a tackle, slips inside the 10-yard line, and he's going to be dropped around the 5-yard line. 1st and goal to go, Apollo Hawks.
Ticciarello, man, what a play by the senior quarterback. We do have a flag. This would be a killer if it's holding. If this was holding, and it's in holding territory or illegal hands to the face from the defensive line, one of those two. But how about him, elusive, getting away from 3 defenders, rolling left, still looking downfield, and throwing a dart to his receiver for a big gain.
Great work by Ticciarello. Excellent athleticism. And then how about the ability for Isaiah White, the run after the catch, Cody, making guys miss with the juju to bob and weave. And now the penalty is going to be assessed to Mount Ridge. And that'll be huge for Aaron Wallace's football team. 7:49 to go to intermission in a 2-score ball game. Now the Hawks on the drive, and they now have the football with a 1st and goal to go on the 3. That's a 36-yard pass play, or we'll take it, we'll call it 20 yards. 21-yard pass play from Ticciarello to Isaiah White. Tack on the 15, and there you go. 1st and goal to go from the 3. Working right to left. The Apollo Hawks trying to get in the end zone. Down by 14. The deep back is Adam Muhammad. And Muhammad is going to get it. He's going to take it in the end zone. He's going to bulldoze his way into the end zone. A 3-yard touchdown run for Adam Muhammad, and the Hawks are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, tremendous block by Matthew Lato. Just clearing space. He is a space eater, the big 6'4", 280-pound tackle, and that is Adam Muhammad territory right there, Kevin. Anytime you're inside the 10, feed the man the rock. He cannot be tackled by one player. Run through contact, and that is a huge offensive answer from the Apollo Hawks offense there, Kevin.
Big time answer. You are absolutely right, Cody. Touchdown number 11 for Adam Muhammad in the box again. That is where he resides in the end zone. His 11th rushing touchdown of the season. Point after try by Gallegos is good as he drills that one through the night sky. 7:29 to the break. Our new score, Mountain Ridge 14, Apollo 7. And let's credit Coach Walls and his defense. They bent backwards over here a couple times. It didn't look pretty, but they were effective. They made enough plays necessary to get the ball back. They got the ball on a turnover and downs, and then they marched down, cashed in a big penalty, and they finally punched it in on a strong run. And you talk about a guy that was road grading, Matthew Lato. That's a talent right there.
Well, 100%. And, Kevin, it really looked like after the first couple series and some turnovers and the block kick for Apollo that we were going to have running clock. I know it was only 14-0, right, but you kind of had that feeling, well, hey, they made 2 defensive stops, especially 4th down stops that were huge. And then offensively, we've noted this. They've moved the ball. They have been in Mountain Ridge's territory a couple of times. They had the touchdown get called back. Now, Mountain Ridge is still playing a little undisciplined. 2 post-play 15-yard penalty face masks. They got to clean that up defensively. But Apollo's offense, heck, they're moving the rock. They're looking good right now.
I'll tell you what, you're right. The Mountain Lions are playing footloose and fancy-free here, and that's going to come back to haunt eventually. On the return for Mountain Ridge, here is Corey Johnson. And Corey Johnson out to the 30-yard line. Great work for him. Again, strong athleticism.
13, Alex Velasco from Mountain Ridge.
14-7 ball game. 7:22 to the break.
Ball returned to the 33-yard
And now
line.
this Apollo Hawk defense gets to go back on the field. You know, a couple notes here on Muhammad. 14 straight games of 100-plus and a touchdown.
That's
14
incredible.
in a row.
I told you, absolute superstar.
3 games or more of 200 yards or more. He has 1 game of 307 and 6 scores. Anderson to the ground game and running with the football, running right downhill. Penalty marker comes in behind the play. Nice, powerful run running downhill by Gavin Dins, the super sophomore. But this one's going to come back. It'll be a holding penalty up front against the Mountain Lions.
Penalty on Mountain Ridge.
Cody, how about it? We had a 40-second play clock. It's visible and it's actually functioning tonight. You got to give it to the Apollo Hawks staff here. Their athletic director, Anthony Ditto and company, doing a great job here. The hospitality has been second to none. This is the second time that they're playing on their brand new synthetic turf, and it is a gorgeous playing surface.
Kevin, I've gone to Thursday games where no one shows up. You know, maybe a couple of the home crowd. No one in the away stands. They got the light show. They got the face painting. They have the up-and-coming, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th grade cheerleaders out here. They have the feeder programs out here. It is incredible atmosphere.
Ground game again, and there's nothing doing. Great work by the Hawk defense. We're going to let you know who blew that play up as soon as we get the man free. Making it happen was David Wilson, all-region second teamer, all-region linebacker for Wilson. 54 tackles, 10 behind the line of scrimmage a year ago. Another playmaker. Still a 7-point ball game, 6:40 to go. Anderson works out of the shotgun formation. Hawks show blitz. And now we're going to get movement up front. Cody, sometimes I want them to just let them play football.
Yeah, I mean, but it's undisciplined. You see Apollo, they are showing blitz. Oh, man, they're calling offside. I thought it was false start in the tackle. I stand corrected. It looks like Mountain Ridge going on the hard count there, getting the bite. But, hey, football is a game of momentum, right? Do you start to feel the momentum swing here to the home team, Apollo Hawks here? Because this is the first time tonight I'm like, hey, Apollo's making some things happen. They get a stop here. That is going to be huge for this team.
No doubt about it. You give the Hawks a chance to tie this game up before intermission will be a big deal. They go to the wide receiver this time. This is Terrence Hall, and Terrence Hall delivers a lot of contact along that Apollo Hawk bench. And for Hall, he could have slammed on the brakes, but he decided to finish the route and take on two guys that are just standing there, what we call bystanders, and they just got their bell rung.
Well, and because of that, I think they're going to go 15-yard late hit penalty on Apollo. I think both
on
those
Hall?
guys. No, I think they're going to do it on Apollo's secondary. I think they hit him late, or they go Terrence Hall for delivering the punishment out of bounds. We're going to see. It's a big call here.
Well, the ruling would be unnecessary roughness. Let's see what they call it. I'd offset it for me.
Or a face mask.
Okay, we'll go
There
that
you
way.
go.
How about a face mask penalty?
I didn't have that on my bingo card, Kevin.
I did not have.
Oh, it is offset, is it? Oh, no, 2 penalties. 2 offsetting. No offsetting. That's 2
It's gonna be a
personal
double foul,
fouls.
Cody.
And Apollo.
Double foul on Apollo. So Hall.
Going to move the ball another 15 yards. It's going to be an automatic first
Yeah,
down
that's a good
for
call.
Mountain Ridge.
Who got him? It looked as though that Silas. No, that's not right either. Oh, yeah, actually, Silas does play a little defense. Is that the quarterback?
He
Can we see that one more time by chance? We got the best technical producer in the business, Mr. Greg Jones. We'll see who's there. Okay, it's going to be 2.
So there's your face mask, and then here's your
Keenum.
late hit.
Ball's at 37-yard line.
22
Ball,
have the-
first down and 10, Mountain Ridge.
Double shot Mustafa Daya. So that'll move him up all the way up to the 37-yard line of Apollo. Anderson to the air. His pass is too tall for the receiver on the near side. The target was Parker Halpine. He's one of 5 different targets that Cody alluded to earlier. Terrence Hall has 2 touchdown receptions. He's been targeted 4 times tonight. Ryland Sands has been targeted 3 times. He has 2 receptions in this ball game. And then he's hit the backs a couple times, including Sins, as well as Austin Pocock. So the clock stops with 6:13 to go till halftime. If you're just now joining us on the Zone 48 broadcast network, we welcome you to Thursday Night Football. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. Glad you could be a part of this one. The game started about 40 minutes late due to a late arrival of the Mountain Lions tonight. They work from the Hawk 37-yard line. There goes the man in motion. That is Parker Halpine. Snap back to Anderson. Surveys the field. Steps through the pocket. Has time. Deep ball. Boundary side. The ball is broken up. It might have been picked off. And they're going to say it's an
Pass complete.
It's a
Mountain Ridge
catch.
from Number 9, Anderson.
So Anderson completes the pass to the boundary on the outside. There was an awful lot of
Going to bring up another
traffic
first down
in
and
the
10 for
area.
Mountain Ridge.
But if Anderson complete the pass, it's going to be
Looks like
either
the ball's gonna be around the
to
17-yard line.
Oh, it was a tip drill. Oh,
That's
my
what it
gosh.
was. That's what was so difficult to discern. Parker Halpine caught the ball off the fingertips, I believe, of a Apollo Hawk defensive back.
That was an incredible catch. I mean, we work on tip drill every day as a defensive back, and the defensive back did a great job reading that play, but that is a heck of a catch by Halpine and hand-eye coordination on the sideline.
Now working inside the red zone. They get it to Hall. Breaks a tackle. Scurries up the sideline, and they're going to throw him down to the turf as he approached first down yardage. Good pursuit to the football by Cedric Moore III. Also there in on the hunt was Brody Ciccarello. In 11 games last year, Ciccarello had 66 tackles, 6 of those behind the line. He also had a nose for the football with a pick and 3 fumble recoveries.
Kevin, that's just a feel thing there, man. Terrence Hall feeling the corner coming in. He flips and spins backwards, and he picks up 6.
That's an outstanding play. And now Anderson again using the hard count on this drive. And Cody had mentioned way back when the Mountain Lions got the football after the kickoff, Apollo could get a stand here and get the ball back before halftime. Only down 14-7, it would be a huge coup. But right now, Coach Minoski's Mountain Lions are on the march. And they used 30 yards of penalties to move the football. So it's first and goal to go. Anderson to the air. Pass caught. And short of the goal line is Parker Halpine. We'll just see. We'll double check that. I believe it is 6. When you see, we hear the PA announcer say it was 5, Lionel Clay, you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I've been there. But I can tell you it was number 6, and it is a bear to see that. But Brendan Anderson, a yard shy of his 3rd touchdown pass here in this one. 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line. Working out of the pistol. The deep back is Terrence Hall. The edge going to bring the pressure. They give it to Hall. Start right, cut it back towards the middle of the field, break the play to the goal line, and score a touchdown. His first rushing touchdown of the night. His third rushing. That's his 3rd touchdown of the evening.
That first half trick for Terrence Hall. And he's just one of those players. Your best player at the 1-yard line, give him the rock, Kevin. Let him run behind the big boys up front. And that's a great answer drive there by the Mountain Ridge offense. And Apollo, they shot themselves in the foot. They had a 30-yard penalty in that post play with Terrence Hall on the sidelines there, and Mountain Ridge is able to capitalize.
That is a huge double foul there on Hall. Snap back. The hold is there. And the kick is up, and it is good as Jaden Rogers hits the point after try. He was 3 for 3 tonight. He was 3 for 3 last week. Outstanding work by Brendan Anderson and company. They get the rushing touchdown to Terrence Hall. As CC reported, that's the hat trick tonight. 2 receiving touchdowns for Hall, 1 rushing. And our new score is 21-7 with 4:27 to go to the intermission. We extend the invitation to stay with us for all of our halftime festivities. Apollo High School was recently awarded Best High School by the Glendale Star for achieving high standards of excellence and was voted on by the residents of Glendale. That statement right there, that's just what we call, and that is the support of community.
How cool is that,
That's
man?
awesome.
I talked to you in the post or the pregame. I said, hey, this is a neighborhood school. Literally, meaning the stadium is in neighborhoods with houses right behind all the stands here. And I have been to almost every high school in Maricopa County. I have not been to this one. I'm impressed by the administration, the support. Like I said, this is incredible. This place is packed here on a Thursday night.
It is. It's a great turnout. The fans have showed out here on this Thursday night football. All right, it's Jaden Rogers. That ball spotted on the 40-yard line in between the hash marks, and that's a booming kick, and it goes over everybody, including Scott Simmons. For Mountain Ridge's Terrence Hall, I was right. I started to mention it. That was his 2nd touchdown of the year, and that was indeed. So for Hall, he's been in the box twice on the ground game, and for receiving, he has 6 touchdown receptions this year. Does Terrence Hall, arguably the #1 and top target for Brendan Anderson. But Hall, another one of those guys that he has a lot of playmaking ability, and he has that mean streak that you love to have that you just can't teach it. You either come in and you like to play nasty like that, or you don't.
He's a luxury, man, and he could start at any team in the state. You name a school, he could start there, guaranteed.
Yeah, he is. He's worth the price of admission. I like to use that statement. Lennox Lawson, another one of those guys. He'll be on full display tomorrow night from around the Mountain View. Oh, there's a run blitz, and good thing that Ciccarello had the football because Muhammad got absolutely shot down. Once again, Saxon Davidson. You talk about a guy that's on the hunt and a guy that is ready to lower the boom on you. Muhammad just got destroyed by Saxon Davidson.
You know what? And that is a football hit. That is purely I'm watching that hit up here, and I just watched the replay there. That is a fundamentally sound, driving your hips through contact. That is a football hit. I'm going to use the word here, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but that is a game plan saying, hey, when they're going with that read option read, I am hitting him every time. That is a scheme. That is football right there.
And that is tough tackle football. Pass on the post route, in and out of the hands of Camarian Bell, into coverage again, providing the coverage for Mountain Ridge. That is Austin Pocock. We mentioned his name a couple of times. I am impressed with this Mountain Line football team. They have they showed up to play tonight. Granted, they were here a little bit late, but they didn't need a lot of warm-up and a lot of preparation time, but they are here ready to play football, and they are flying to the ball, and they came here with the mindset that we are going to punch you in the mouth, and they're doing just that.
Yeah, and what they're doing, they're loading up the field side. So the strong side towards their sideline there, they're loading that side up, and they're bringing pressure, and they are delivering some shots, Kevin.
No doubt about it. Here they come again, and Ciccarello's going to go down. He gets sacked. Coming from the outside was Alex Velasco. He was one of those blitzers on the edge. I believe he got a shoestring sack in there to take down Ciccarello. 3:20 to go till halftime. It's 21-7, and Coach Manoski's football team is going to get the ball right back.
Yeah, offensively, Apollo has won the line of scrimmage the last 2 series. Mountain Ridge, after giving up that touchdown, they probably sat their guys down and said, hey, we're not letting this happen, man. We got to deliver the blows, and that's exactly what they did for that series right there, Kevin. That was some physical defensive football from Mountain Ridge.
4th and 7 for the 23. Here comes the rush again. Muhammad's going to have to run the football, and he tries to do anything in his power to move the chains, and he's going to be stopped short. Excellent pursuit to the football by Mountain Ridges. Jacob Reynolds on the stop on Muhammad, and the special teams with a breakdown, providing the coverage for Adam Muhammad, and that will provide and allow another short field here for Mountain Ridge. I believe of their 6 drives they've had in this first half, 4 of those, Cody, have been inside the 50-yard line or in Hawk territory.
Yeah, and you want to keep the ball away from Brendan Anderson, but if you're going to give it to him, you want to flip the field at least, not give him the ball at the 25. But the same thing happened on the pump block. They are not blocking the end man, and he has a free run at Adam Muhammad trying to punt. They're going to have to figure that out on the sideline.
Yeah, we like to say unabated to the punter, and that is what happened here. 2:49 to go to the break. Here goes the man in motion. Anderson looks left, fires left, and the ball is caught, and taking the ball inside the 15-yard line. Great target again. Ryland Sands, his 3rd catch of the night, 4th time he's been targeted, and he's got good hands. And you look up as he made his break, Cody, the shoulder dip in, move outside, and the ball delivered on time, on target again. Outstanding throw by Anderson.
Call that the timing route. You know, it's a 10-yard out they probably work on every single day, and Brendan hits him right in the outside shoulder, right when he flips the head. That's a great pass and catch, and that's the trust I talk about the receivers having, and Brendan has it with his entire receiving core.
You had talked about his accuracy early, Cody, and that throw, when you just see where Sands caught the football, shoulder high, just past the defender, and great position by Sands. Excellent technique for him to protect the football and catch it secured and move the chains. That was just an outstanding football play.
Yeah, and Apollo's in cover 0 or cover 1 man there, so he's looking when the receiver's looking, and heck, you're putting the ball exactly where Brendan's putting on, he can't make a play.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Anderson off his back foot, lobs one up to the end zone, and the ball is caught for the touchdown. The 3rd touchdown reception of the night for Terrence Hall. That's the 4th overall touchdown on the game for Hall. Penalty marker on the play. Let's see what this is all about. But another perfectly executed play by Manoski's offense. Brendan Anderson threw another dime, and it was the double move by Terrence Hall to get open.
They've hit this a couple times now, so they're lining them up in the backfield, almost at the H position, which for you guys not knowing is a tight end, but pretty much in the backfield. Out and up, the corner is keeping his eyes on Brendan, not seeing Terrence go up, and Brendan Anderson's putting it right in the back of the end zone. That is twice now they have ran that play for a touchdown, and once again, even with that, Kevin, that's timing. That's something they practice every single day. Brendan knows how many back pedals, where to put that ball. Just give Terrence a chance. Terrence able to run under it, and another touchdown from the senior wide receiver, Terrence Hall.
Number 4 on the night. Trenton Wilkins with the hold. Jaden Rogers with the point after try. Some late comers onto the special teams unit. And now we get a penalty flag drop. It'll be encroachment on Apollo. This call coming in from the head linesman. 27-7 is our score. Brendan Anderson putting on a show. You know, for Anderson, that was his 70th touchdown pass of his career. Cody Cameron.
Good for Brendan. So he's got 3 in the first half, right?
3 in the first half.
Good for Brendan. I told you we're gonna be in here for a show, man. And the best part about this whole PAT kick here is Mountain Ridge was going to kick that with 9 players on the field. I don't know if I've ever said. Usually 1 short, right? You're going to do it with 9 there.
And what's uncanny about it, if you will, is they were able to draw the penalty as well. Snap back, the pressure comes, the kick is up, and the kick is good as Jaden Rogers splits the upright. He's 4 for 4 in point after tries, and you know, that's a pretty solid kick. You had a blitz coming in, and everybody in all those blue shirts trying to block the kick, and you get it up, and you get it through. Marvelous job. did you happen to take a look at some of the scenery around here? It's picturesque with the palm trees here.
Palm
We're
trees.
in Glendale, Arizona, Cody.
Sunset. We had the gorgeous sunset. Even though we had a 40-minute delay, just a beautiful sky here. Got the trees. I'm telling you, and not a single person is left. I mean, I'm standing up here, Kevin, and it's packed house. And it's packed house over at Mountain Ridge's sideline. And I can't say this enough. The atmosphere, the quality of picture we have. We got multiple cameras. A director here who's total kick butt. God, I mean, we get the best replays that I've ever seen from, especially this high school broadcast. Man, this is quality. I would say A+ stuff.
Yes, sir. Cody Cameron, you're part of the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. We're glad to have you aboard. 28-7, our score here approaching halftime. 2:16 to go. And let's be honest, if you're Aaron Walsh, you've got to at least get out of this first half unscathed. You can't allow any more points. If you can somehow go down there and get yourself a score here, you only can wonder what would this game be like had that 76-yard touchdown reception to Isaiah White hold up. It would have just changed the landscape of things here, at least from that headspace and that mental perspective.
You got to get points here too, Kev, because you do not get ball at half.
Muhammad from his 5-10 to the 20, and here comes the cavalry. The Mountain Lions all over it. Cody, have you noticed this? When the Mountain Lions are converging on the ball carrier, in this case, Adam Muhammad, you're looking at one blue shirt and about 6 to 8 white shirts. I'm wondering, where's the rest of the blocking? Where's the cavalry there for the Apollo Hawks? Granted, that arrangement was a little bit unique. Everybody was up. The deep back was Muhammad. If you want to kick to Muhammad and have him return it from his 5, you'll take that chance. But the pursuit of the football with the Mountain Lions, exceptional on special teams.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of every asset of this football game here, but they're tackling well. They haven't really, Adam Muhammad's been able to make a couple of people miss, but there's games, Kevin, where he makes 20 to 30 defenders miss. They're doing a good job of rallying players. But that's the defense. They have that violent tenacity at that linebacking core with Christian Aguilar and Saxon Davidson, the seniors, man. They are playing and they are leading by example out there defensively for Mountain Ridge.
In the early going, there was some mention that Mountain Ridge could be an open team. Well, the first couple of losses are not going to help them in that category, but you look at the ability that they have, the playmakers, they do have some talent. Muhammad makes the reception. That's the 9th reception of the season for Adam Muhammad. He's a versatile player. We've talked about that. Obviously, he does so many things. He punts. He plays quarterback when he has to. But he's maybe an underrated receiver. But do you think that there's some plays they can get him involved, maybe just a simple screen, try to get him in some space?
Yes, they've had success being in the empty and having 5 wideouts. The only problem with doing that now is Mountain Ridge is bringing pressure. They're teeing off from Chicharello. They have to pick up those blitzes, and so it's almost better having someone in there to at least pick off a hot blitz edge.
Silas Chicharello going to put the ball in the hands and call his own number, and he had Muhammad running right there with him. He could have optioned it to him to the right, but he decided to keep it. He elected to keep it, if you will. How about this for Apollo High School? We just talked about the name game. Back in the days, Peyton Manning made a lot of people happy, and a lot of people made babies and said, we're going to name our kid Peyton. And then you had Shaq and Shaquille and that run there. But how about this? Silas Chicharello and another teammate, and in fact, it's the backup quarterback for the Hawks, is Silas Stevenson. So you got 2 Silases in the quarterback room, spelled differently, but you just don't see that name on an everyday basis.
That's an impressive quarterback room right there.
A couple of Silases right there, that's for sure. 3rd and 5 from the 27-yard line. This is Silas Chicharello. Escapes the pressure, wants to throw. Throws down the middle of the field. The ball is incomplete. He wanted Muhammad, providing the coverage, and draped all over Muhammad was Corey Johnson. And you have to like the defensive play. And Cody, you've kind of alluded to it, but the Mountain Lions, they just appear to be in the right spot on every play.
Locked in on a
University located here in the sun-soaked city of Phoenix, Arizona, one of the largest and fastest growing universities in this country, while leading a movement of service and leadership with purpose.
If I line up 10 kids today and say, why'd you choose Grand Canyon? 9 out of 10 will say it's the strength of the community.
I wanted to attend an affordable Christian university and a place I could truly thrive.
GCU, they opened the door for me when nobody else would. GCU truly cares about students and alumni and wants to see us change the world.
Grand Canyon University is a champion of inclusion, community, and equal opportunity for all.
This is the College Tour.
Streaming now on Amazon Prime.
Jake from State Farm. Thanks for the great rate on my insurance, man.
Wait, I said Byron got the Patrick price? Thought that was our thing.
Thanks for the killer rate, Jake.
Shreddy Betty got it too?
Patrick, State Farm offers rates that fit anyone's budget, even my man handstand.
Thanks again, Jake. Up top.
I'm gonna go work out these fillings.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Inside us all beats the heart of an athlete, determined to succeed. We push, we fight, we sacrifice. Sometimes we fall short, sometimes we just fall. But we get back up, stronger than before. This is more than a game. This is our goal.
Take the field. for your Apollo Hawks marching band. Rise to your feet, Apollo Hawks, and clap for your Apollo High School fight song. The Apollo Hawks marching band is under the direction of Mr. Gabe Lugo. Band staff is Tyler Marcy, Ryan Atwater, Grace Godot, and Tyler Madrano. The band is looking forward to performing for you and representing Apollo High School at Apollo football games, assemblies, and marching band festivals. The band appreciates all the support from the faculty, staff, students, and parents in helping to make 2022 a successful year.
This is the letter I've been telling you about.
This letter is for you. From what I hear, you're supposed to be the next Tom Brady. What I'm about to say is important. Never let them call you the next Tom Brady. When they compare you to the GOATs, tune it out. When they say you're a 6th round draft pick, store it away. Compare yourself to nobody but the kid in the mirror. The one who goes all in, all out, and has the crazy confidence to know that who you are today is just a piece of who you're going to become. This letter's for that you, the one no one will see coming. Sincerely, Tom.
What about your dreams, man?
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Care Urgent Care is proud to be the preferred healthcare partner of the AIA. With over 40 clinics in Arizona and more than 135 locations nationwide, we are here for you with quality healthcare you can trust when you need it most. Our sports physicals, on-site labs, and x-rays will save your family time and money. And some of our clinics are open until midnight, 7 days a week. You can even check in online at urgentcareradio.com using our Wahoo service. It stands for Wait at Home or Office. Call us at 1-800-URGENT.
Welcome, everyone, to Grand Canyon University, located here in the sun-soaked city of Phoenix, Arizona, one of the largest and fastest-growing universities in this country, while leading a movement of service and leadership with purpose.
If I line up 10 kids today and say, why'd you choose Grand Canyon? 9 out of 10 will say it's the strength of the community.
I wanted to attend affordable Christian university in a place I could truly thrive.
GCU, they opened the door for me when nobody else would.
GCU truly cares about students and alumni and wants to see us change the world.
Grand Canyon University is a champion of inclusion, community, and equal opportunity for all.
This is the College Tour.
Streaming now on Amazon Prime.
Jake from State Farm. Thanks for the great rate on my insurance, man.
Wait, but I said Byron got the Patrick price? Thought that was our thing.
Thanks for the killer rate, Jake.
Shreddy Betty got it too?
Patrick, State Farm offers rates that fit anyone's budget, even a man handstand.
Thanks again, Jake. Up top.
I'm gonna go work out these fillings.
For surprisingly great rates that fit any budget, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Welcome back to Apollo High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. Cody Cameron, that's what I said. Cody, do you like to be introduced as, you know, the stud that you are at Arizona Varsity? Do you like to be like the regional district Southwest Scout of the Year? What's the title? I know we've asked this before, but we don't do it on air very often.
Everybody asks me that, Kevin, and I just like football guy.
Football
guy, Cody Cameron. I don't know, man. I mean, just like I always tell you. And we broadcasted maybe. People probably think, hey, these guys have been together 3, 4, or 5 years. Maybe our 10th football game that we broadcasted. We with the state championship games of last year, and then semi-pro, the Cactus League.
Oh, we tore
out
up
there
the
at
ACCFL.
Legacy. Oh, that was a fun league, man. But this is our first regular season high school football game, and
the first of many, perhaps.
But everything's football. That's what I tell people. You know, I eat, breathe, sleep football, and it's just the best sport in the world. And when you get to broadcast it, I'll just take analyst or the football guy, Cody Cameron.
Well, here's the thing. I actually thought it was a platform to, you know, sing your own tune for a moment, and here's why. I was thinking, he's a college scout. He's a recruiting analyst. He's an editor and lead scout for Arizona Varsity, which is arguably the finest high school publication and website here in the great state 48. If you like high school football, you can get all kinds of knowledge of college football as well on that website. But Ralph Amston does a great job just chilling all the guys, right? Chris Eaton, the whole group. Zach Oliver, everybody does a fantastic job covering high school sports. But you, Cody, you've kind of graduated into other things. You've morphed into new things, and you have this incredible on-air personality now. So it's like, I was going to introduce you as that scout or the AZ varsity guy, but it's like analyst Cody Cameron. That's just holding some clout, man. Color analyst Cody Cameron.
When people
on the
say
A-team.
one of the things I tell people as we're getting some good highlights here, Adam Muhammad, who will say his name a million times. What I tell people, right? There's difference between liking football and then loving it, man. And I just any type of football. I like playing football. I like watching football, and I like watching Brendan Anderson and this Mountain Ridge team light it up offensively. What is it? 4 touchdowns. Terrence Hall. Did we get 4-piece? For Mr. Hall here?
Terrence Hall has 3 receiving touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. Brendan Anderson connected with him 3 times. Brendan Anderson now has 70 touchdown passes in his career. A 4-year varsity starter for Anderson. But you like the offense, and I do too, but I like the way that Saxon Davidson is playing tackle football tonight. He's playing with a nastiness. He's playing with a vengeance, right? He's strong and quick to the ball, and when he gets to the ball, he's taking people out. He's lowering the boom, and he's been impressive.
Yeah, I look at the Hamilton loss, and we've referred to that game last week for Mountain Ridge a couple times now. Where they were up 21-7 heading into the second quarter, and then they got outscored about 45+ to 0 in the end of that football game. And you look at a week of practice, Kevin, you go, hey, we got to fix this. Yeah, we got to cover better, we got to tackle better, we got to force turnovers.
Right.
They have done all of that here tonight. They have forced the turnovers. They've been violent. Adam Muhammad has not beaten them. You know, that was a huge key in this game. Do not let one of the best class of 2024 players beat us in this football game, and they have been violent in the linebacking core. It's Christian Aguilar. It's, you know, the players that you have already mentioned throughout the broadcast. That is a great defensive performance here in the first half for Mountain Ridge.
Yeah, they are firing on all cylinders. Here's Gallegos, and speaking of Gallegos, he's one of those place kickers that also plays a little D, and he's forcing the issue out there in open field, taking guys down, recording solo tackles for Gallegos. So we are underway. Our second half is ready to go. 28-7. You're watching tonight's game on the Zone 48 Broadcast Network. Special thank you to all of our sponsors this evening, including our presenting sponsor, Trey Clarkson State Farm Insurance Agency. For all of your insurance needs, please contact 623-432-1700 and tell them the good guys from the Zone 48 Broadcast Network sent you. 28-7. We just mentioned it's been the Brendan Anderson show for Adam Muhammad. He needs 6 yards to eclipse 2,000, so we'll be looking for that here in the second half. It's Anderson to go to work in a shotgun formation. He'll run it left, and he runs it to the tailback, and that is going to be Gavin Dins. Dins gets the football, and he just races right behind the left tackle and carves out an 11-yard run to start half number 2.
Yeah, and they're going full speed here, no huddle. They're going fast here to start the second half here, Kevin.
They want to put it to the Apollo Hawks, and their defense has spent an awful lot of time on the field. They go right back to the ground game again, and running in between the hash marks is the same tailback.
Second down and 5 for Mountain Ridge.
That is indeed Gavin Dins. Yeah, as Cody has mentioned, you have to double check and make sure that you have the correct numbers, because they are very, very difficult to read. One thing about the Mountain Ridge uniforms, though, you have to appreciate the burgundy and the forest green with those silver helmets. Anderson ground game again to Dins, and doing a nice job of running the football. He got to the numbers, turned the corner, and just
10-yard run by
used that fleet of foot to pick up some positive yardage. Just kind of methodically matriculating down the field here, but they're running the ball versus the pass game.
And the Beefs, man, the Mountain Ridge offensive line, they are getting off the snap there, and they are violent with their punches, and they're rolling some defenders here for Apollo to start the second half, excuse me.
Gain of 8. Lato comes onto the field a little bit tardy. He wears number 70. You can't miss him. 6'4", 280. Lines up right there on that right defensive end spot. And Anderson waiting for the play call to come in. They're lined up with 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. That's Sands. Long count for Anderson. 10:30 to go. Play fake for Anderson. Wants to throw deep again. He's got a man. It's caught by Sands. In stride, 20, 15, 10, 5. Angle the pylon. That's going to be a touchdown.
Number 11.
A 54-yard touchdown strike. Brendan Anderson to Ryland Sands. And that's how the Mountain Lions begin half number 2, throwing another deep ball and striking for 6.
So to me, the Mountain Ridge offensive coaches, Kevin, had a 4-play script. They said, hey, we're going to pound the rock, set the line of scrimmage, and we're going to get after it the first 3 plays. And what does that set up? The play action deep bomb to Sands, the junior receiver, beats the defensive backs, got about 5 yards of separation. Brendan Anderson faking that inside zone that they just ran the last 3 plays, and floats a beauty, an absolute dime piece to Sands. Open arms, outstretched arms, and that's a heck of a first drive coming out of the locker room for Mountain Ridge.
Heck of a throw, heck of an execution, tremendous analysis, and quite frankly, the only thing I could say here, not playing again a game of topper in any way, shape or form, but that was just simply textbook.
That was perfect.
The play fake, the drawing of the defense in, the backers coming in, they get sucked in, and then the move by Sands, and then the foot race to the pylon, using every portion of the football field. Advantage Mountain Lions, advantage Ryland Sands. That's another touchdown. The 4th TD pass of the night for Brendan Anderson.
When I prepare for broadcast, Kevin, I watch a lot of film. I know a lot of players just throughout the last 4 years of high school, but I always talk to the team that they just played. So I talked to the Hamilton coaches. I said, hey, give me some guys that you're really impressed with.
Yes.
I knew Terrence Hall. I knew Brendan Anderson. I know Alex Deuce. I know Christian Aguilar. Tell me something. Go, hey, that number 11 kid reminds me of some of the receivers. Their office coordinators, like, that reminds me of a receiver we had last year, Christian Anaya, who's a Division I football player at Montana State now. Just creates separation, catches everything. He does everything you need him to do at the receiver spot. That's his Sands right there.
And then some, right? Just a junior. His first touchdown reception of the season. And that kick by Rogers goes into the end zone. And there's a penalty flag right around the 22-yard line. That is where the wedge and the special teams players came together, Cody. And as Joey Mascaro, I beg your pardon, might have said that fast. It was Joey, J-O-E-Y. Joey Mascaro, our cinematographer on the field, had indicated he felt that this game could come to blows at some point here in the second half.
Well, I mean, if Mountain Ridge comes with the aggression and violence on defense, like they did in the first and second quarter there, anything can happen.
I know this is a family program, but we've used violence a lot.
Oh, it's football.
I love it. I just love it. I get pumped up when we talk this way. It's going to be Ciccarello, and once again, he'll use that zone read, good ball fake, try to wait as long as he could, picked his spot, and just darted up the middle, and picked up a couple yards before he ran into the defensive prowess of Christian Madosky. It's been well documented a couple times. That's Doug Madosky's son, Coach Madosky. Also very formidable in the JUCO circuit, Cody.
100%. He pretty much does it all, and up there in northwest land of where Mountain Ridge is located, utilizing, I believe they also play at Mountain Ridge High School at the Maricopa Mustangs. Yep. But heck, going back to that play for Apollo, that has worked here. That worked here in the first half. That fly sweep, midline read, then Ciccarello keeps it. But hey, these are killers. Yeah, I think it was the first thing I said. Apollo needs to be third and manageable. So losing yardage pre-snap like that, after a 5-yard first down play, that's a killer.
That is tough. You look at Apollo, they moved from the Metro to the 5A Northwest, and they get the likes of undefeated Willow Canyon at 2-0. Goldwater's there at 2-1, a team we saw here on the Zone 48 broadcast network just a couple of weeks back. Then they get Canyon View and Ironwood and Algo Free bring up the rear at 0-3, but you look at the opportunity for Coach Walsh, they have a chance to win the division. Deep ball, Ciccarello, far sideline. He wanted his tight end, Isaiah White, and one-on-one coverage. Coach Madosky's defensive secondary just forcing the issue and tempting them to go to that one-on-one coverage. And once again, there's an opportunity there if they can just get the football delivered in the right location.
Hey, the sophomore defensive back, he's learning. Cody Halpine, he got beat the very first series of the game. Apollo going deep there, and it wasn't even he was too beat. It just, the receiver made a great play. They've gone after him 3 or 4 more times, and he stayed over the top. As a sophomore defensive back, when you get that ability of, hey, I can do this, you start believing in yourself. That's what we're seeing right now for Halpine. That's a great job by the sophomore corner.
Mohammed is behind the quarterback, Ciccarello. Play fake. Ciccarello, deep ball, steps into the throw, wants to go to the far sideline, and the ball is in and out of the hands of the defensive back, Cody Halpine. Halpine again in great position. If he timed it right, he should have caught that ball. That could have been an interception. So the Hawks dodge a bullet here for now as they face a 4th down and 17 inside their own red zone. And for Muhammad, he is going to be looking to punt from his own end zone, and this has just been a tough spot for the Hawks to get out of.
Kevin, that's my fault. I gave him too many props to play before. If I just cut it short, he would have picked that off. But once again, he's in good position though, and Ciccarello had time to throw it, and Halpine, he's backing into coverage, and they're playing over, under, top there, and he makes a good play.
Do they come after him? They do, but this time Muhammad kicks this one off the side of his foot, and it is going to take a favorable roll. And the Hawks will touch it down on the 43-yard line. Great work on the special teams group led by Trey Smith. Trey Smith, 5'11 junior. For Isaiah White Young, a sophomore receiver, he has a chance to take the top off, and we saw that early in this ballgame. That's a little scouting report given to me. How about Cedric Moore, top scholar and athlete in the secondary? One thing that these guys do here at Apollo, this football team, they care about their work in the classroom. I know that should be a given for everybody, but it takes a special student athlete to excel on the field or in the gym or whatever their sport of choice is. But then to get it done in the classroom, that's what it's all about. Ground attack here for Mountain Ridge. Running with the football is the tailback, Gavin Dins. For Dins, he's had a productive campaign thus far. Before tonight, 30 totes for 171 yards. He has one game over the century mark. But he's kind of another slow, developing, patient runner, and he's methodical. But once he finds that crease and gets that opening, he picks up positive yardage.
Kevin, watch him do the same thing as the last series. 3 inside zone runs. Oh, no, they're going to play action second play.
Anderson forced to the near side. Wants to throw on the run. Deep ball. Has a receiver there. The ball is caught inside the 5-yard line by the wide receiver, Parker Halpine. It's the other Halpine pitching in here and making a big-time play. And you saw the quarterback throw the football on the run. Another attribute, and this one looks like it might be coming back, as you can see the body language of the quarterback, Brendan Anderson, doing the old lobby like, are you kidding me? That's a tough break.
How about the Halpine brothers, though? It's the Halpine show out here at Apollo High School. The Mountain Ridge sophomore and junior, the sophomore defensive back making plays defensively, and the junior wide receiver torching the secondary. It's a great job by Anderson, is keeping his feet moving. They're going to say illegal man down. They might say that Anderson was past the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball.
You think illegal forward pass?
Yeah, they might call that 5 yards in and lost it down.
Boy, if we like to take a look at that again, possibly. We'll see if we can pull that up here. Let's see where he releases the football from. Ball is spotted on the, we'll call it the 47. He rolls on the near side.
Oh, that's not he was safe. It looked like he was safe. But I think that's what they called there. Kevin lost it down.
That's tough. What a throw there by Anderson. Another demonstration of that kid's ability to throw the ball on the run and throw it some really, 55 yards. That's a heck of a throw.
With perfect accuracy. That was an absolute dart by Anderson.
Absolutely. 35-7, 8:31 to go. There goes the action man, and that is Hall. This will be the runner running with the football. That's the quarterback, Brendan Anderson.
Number 9.
On the quarterback keep. Well, they had all kinds of action, and they had motion in the backfield.
Not enough for the first
and
down.
we haven't seen it happen very often
For Mountain Ridge.
when you see Brendan Anderson rush the football. He does not call his number very often. Just the 8th carry of the season for Anderson. The most he's rushed for this season is an 11-yard run against Shadow Ridge. 2 totes for -9 against the Huskies.
Oh, I think they got him just to jump off sides there, Kevin. On a 4th and 3, that'd be. I think the left defensive end just jumped on 4th and 3. Another hard count.
And when you go back to the 3 inside the goalposts for Apollo, it was about playing disciplined, valuing the rock, and executing. They haven't played the most disciplined game tonight. They've turned it over a couple of times, and they have really failed to execute in most occasions other than their one scoring play. And the lack of discipline has cost them some big-time yardage and a scoring play.
Yeah, and that's an opportunity to get off the field. Here comes a home run shot.
And they run a bubble screen. They go back to Halpine, and Halpine tries to navigate his way around the defense, and finally they'll string him out and knock him out of bounds. One of those guys there fighting with him was Trey Smith on the force out. Trey Smith and company. Also in the vicinity was Brody Ciccarello, as those guys have no quit in their defensive game, Cody.
Oh, I like this kid. I think you look at the crop of receivers they have with Sands, Hall, and Halpine. They are vertical threats. They can run the intermediate routes. They can run the bubble. That is solid receiving core.
No doubt about it. Gain of 1, 7:11 to go in this third quarter. Anderson in the gun. They run it up the middle and picking up big yardage. Looked like Christopher Ramos got the call. Big number 20 for Ramos. He is
Bring up 3rd down and 2 for the
pretty good sized ball carrier. Ramos, 7 carries, 27 yards before that tote. Has yet to get in the end zone. For Mountain Ridge, they've only rushed it in the end zone 2 times. Once before tonight, and then tonight they got the rushing touchdown from Terrence Hall, one of his 4. And a quick hitter trying to run the football.
Looks like there's barely any gain on
up
that
the middle.
play. Gonna be a
Nothing
4th
doing.
down.
How about Ahmad Salah in there making things difficult for the Apollo Hawks as they fly to the football and get a big-time stop.
And Salah's a senior leader for that defensive front 7 there for Apollo. And once again, we got a huge 4th down. Mancha cannot jump. You got to be disciplined here. Apollo needs to get the rock back. It seems like Mountain Ridge has had the ball forever in the second half.
You got to stay home, no doubt about it. The center is Seth Finley. He is a big, big boy. Play clock is stopped at 40. Anderson to the air, throws outside, making the reception, trying to fight for first down yardage. And he'll do it. And that is going to be the wideout, Parker Halpine. And on that play, they needed 3, they got 4. And I like the route by Parker Halpine. Just a nice little outright. And once again, the delivery of the football immediately on target and enough for Halpine to do the damage to move the sticks.
Timing route, inside slot, quick arrow. I've seen it a million times, but great job by Halpine of not cutting that route short. A lot of people run that 1 yard deep. He took the extra step to make sure he's at the sticks and then make another guy miss to get the first down.
Cardiff has single coverage to the near side. 1st and 10 for the 33-yard line. Anderson over the middle of the field. The ball's caught as he zips a pass in to Ryland Sands, his 5th catch of this football game. He got his first touchdown reception of the year earlier in this half. In fact, it was the first drive of the second half that Sands got in the end zone.
We got 2nd down and 4.
And that'll bring a 6-yard pass play. But again, Sands recognizes that spot in the zone and just gets comfortable right there, and Anderson delivers a strike.
Kevin, that's what really impressed me for Brendan Anderson. It's only a 6-yard passing play, but he stands tall in the pocket and delivers a strike into traffic where only his receiver can make the catch.
There goes Hall. Deep ball, middle of the field, the ball's incomplete. He wanted Ryland Sands, who was streaking down the middle of the field. He was wide open. And Cody, you might have seen this better. Perhaps somebody got a fingernail in there and deflected that football, or it may be one of the rare misfires of the night for Anderson, but that looked like a catchable ball, as you can see here again. And, well, I tell you what, I think he just dropped the football.
Yeah,
you're right, Cody.
Extremely catchable ball. Great look by Brendan. Had the 3-by-1 and went inside deep post. Safety was late getting over to the middle. And Anderson threw the dart there. It's a drop pass. Great camera work by our field guy there. That is a great shot down by the live camera.
Joey Mascaro, the cinematographer down there, getting it done. Pitch to the left side and banging into that line of scrimmage and trying to get into the secondary is the tailback. They're starting to use a variety of ball carriers, and they did it again here. This is Anthony Leto. Leto, a senior tailback, but just a little toss, crack, sweep to the left, and you talk about a collision where Leto delivered it there.
22-yard line.
Gain of 6. 1st and 10 for the Hawk 22-yard line. Low snap, dug out there by Anderson, and working his way through traffic down the sideline and scoring a touchdown is Anthony Leto.
That is a touchdown, Mountain Ridge.
A 22-yard scoring play for Anthony Leto. And that is the 2nd rushing touchdown tonight for the Mountain Lions. Their 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening, and that's the 1st touchdown of the season for Mr. Leto.
Well, how about that? We got a muffed snap. They tried to go fast right after that first down. Anderson didn't handle the snap properly, still got the pitch off, and Leto just bulldozing his way to the end zone, keeping the feet moving. But look at the big guys. They got a double block, a tight end blocking down to the 2nd and 3rd level. They are rolling opposing defenders on their back in the extra effort to dive over the pylon. A big rushing touchdown for the Mountain Lions.
Our cameras picked it up, but it's to no avail. His knee was down before he got in the end zone, but either way, give him the touchdown. A 22-yard run, the longest run of his career, that young man. And it's now 42-7 as Jaden Rogers blasts the point after try into the night sky, splits the uprights here, the goalpost. 42-7, Mountain Ridge. They got here late, but they've been scoring early and often.
So making adjustments, right? So if you look at Mountain Ridge and the way they've bounced back in their games, and people are going to say, yeah, well, it's such less opponents. You still have to execute. So in both losses, the Castile loss and the Hamilton loss, Mountain Ridge has made the adjustments. This past week it was, hey, we got to match physicality. We got to bring it up front on both sides, offense and defensive line. We've seen it with the defensive line group. It's kind of been the air raid show with Brendan Anderson in the first 2 quarters. This third quarter, they prioritized. They said, hey, offensive linemen, we are getting off the football. We're going to roll the front 7, and they are executing that to perfection to start the second half.
No doubt about it, Cody. Look at the schedule. We mentioned North's up next. And, just looking at things, what we've seen here tonight, that looks like it's a game that Mountain Ridge could win and should win. Then Boulder Creek, Coach Casserole will coach him up, and he's a difficult opponent each time you want to play Coach Casserole. So Boulder Creek will be formidable, but it's a winnable game. And then you mentioned Liberty, as you believe they're the top team in the state. I don't disagree at all. They are well coached. Navi Bruzan is a talent, the southpaw quarterback, and they got a lot of good players. Their tailbacks are all dynamic. They're really, really good. They're well coached. Then you get Centennial, but let's be honest, that if Mountain Ridge plays like they played tonight against Liberty, I wouldn't say it's a pick 'em game, but it's a game that on paper you would like to win to see where you're at as a program.
100%. And Centennial has been down the last couple of years. COVID really hurt that program, but they have a very good 2024 class.
Silas Cicciarello from the pocket. Hit as he lets it go. It's floating to the far sideline, and the ball's going to fly out of bounds. Scott Simmons was the intended target. Providing the coverage for Ridge was Corey Johnson, KJ. Clock stops with 4:22 to go in the third quarter. It's 42-7. Brendan Anderson with 4 touchdown passes tonight. He now has 71 in his illustrious varsity career. For Apollo, this have been unable to unleash their playmaker tonight. It's Muhammad through that second line. Muhammad to the outside with another stiff arm. Muhammad taking on some tacklers, and they're going to bring in a swarm of white shirts and take him out of bounds. You talk about a fist fight on the near boundary. Muhammad was taking on everybody, and you have to really applaud that young man's effort. And for the people that question any kind of ability for Muhammad, no, he's not running roughshod against a 6A conference defense tonight, but there's a lot of factors that go into that. But you put Muhammad in a different circumstance, and you never know what you have with this kind of talent.
He's a fighter, and he's a max effort player.
Max effort.
Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have a legal block in the back that's going to wipe away, which would have been a historic run from Adam Muhammad. But, well, hey, it's a good thing we get to save that call, knock on wood. But that's once again shooting yourself for it. He already had the first down, and literally a 10-yard penalty to make it, once again, 2nd and 10.
A little bit more self-infliction. That's a tough one. The Hawks graduated all-region linebacker Aiden Donovan a year ago. I beg your pardon. Yeah. Aiden Donovan played for Mountain Ridge. Come on now. All right, out of the pistol formation, it's Cicciarello. Snap at the midsection. There's a pass caught in stride by Scott Simmons. 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. 79 yards. Silas Cicciarello to Scott Simmons. And the Hawks are on the scoreboard here in the second half.
What a pass by Cicciarello. They go double streak up the seam. We got the light show out here at Apollo High School, and Cicciarello throws an absolute dime, floating it in the outstretched arms of Simmons, gets behind the deep safety, and Cicciarello, let me tell you what, Kevin, they're going to show the replay in here. Look at him stepping up, delivers an absolute strike, and he could not put that ball in a better place. Leads Simmons perfectly, and that is a huge touchdown for the Apollo Hawks.
You put the absolute perfect amount of air under that one. All Scotty Simmons had to do was run underneath that. Fumble, snap, fire drill, and it's going to be a box point after try. 3:57 to go in this third quarter. Our new score, Mountain Ridge 42, Apollo 13. And what a scoring play to Simmons. Unofficially 79 yards. And that is the longest pass play of that young man's career, Mr. Scott Simmons. The all-region performer ran underneath that ball, beat the secondary, and he did the rest with a little yak.
Yeah, great blocking up front. He gets the double with the center and the right guard on the 3-tech. They push out both defensive ends. He's got a clean pocket, steps up, and Cicciarello, Kevin, he's putting together some pretty good tape today. He's surveyed his options. He's done a good job of eluding pressure. He's run the RPO scheme well, the midline read well off the fly sweep, and he's put points up on the board against a good 6A team. It's a heck of a performance by Cicciarello.
It really is. One of those two Silases in that quarterback room, but Cicciarello doing a fantastic job of, like Cody mentioned, stepping up in that pocket, and the release of the football was just phenomenal. Nice work there by those two. We talk about that lethal combination of Anderson to Terrence Hall, but how about Cicciarello to Scott Simmons? We saw it right there. For Cicciarello, his 4th touchdown pass of the year. And for Simmons, that's the first time he's been in the box.
And it goes out of bounds, unfortunately. That's going to bring the ball back to the 35-yard
line. We're going to have a procedure penalty on the Apollo Hawks. The ball will go, well, let's see where they put the football. Did they throw a flag?
Yeah, they did. It went out of bounds. Okay. Kickoff out of bounds.
Yeah, so it's an automatic penalty. The ball will be placed on the 35-yard line, and that's where Brendan Anderson will go back to work. Staked to a 42-13 lead here. Late stages of the third quarter. Been an entertaining game. We kind of highlighted Brendan Anderson early on in this contest. The other player for Apollo, we thought that Adam Muhammad would also have a chance to shine tonight. Two very talented players, but Brendan Anderson has really, he's put on a show this evening. He showed up and he has showed out, Cody Cameron.
Yes, he has. One of the top quarterbacks in the entire state right here. One of the best senior gunslingers in the state of Arizona. But now it's time to let the big boys eat, and they have the second half. Get going with side road.
Guys, job that's certainly center. One of those guys getting it done, along with Bryce Leverett, Alexander Deuced, provide on the air. Little step around, finally by from Kevin Dins, just ability, been able to ball inside the, but also he has hands and can flat.
He's fast. The these two in their
and take a Allen. See if there. It's not like a corner. We got we got deep in the look back and had it right vision.
Right. In
could have been a in the end. Let's titch the slide on sportsman the home. Here Just
judge get
that. There. The right deep, and he's going to talk the game harder to store. To the and yeah. See. Here. Finally. As just almost was in the right. Maker. Linebacker. All How much longer?
These other deep work probably yeah.
Some
Arizona.
Heck of a
Now.
But
some cherries. Now, new.
Yeah. Going to be line left. On nothing. This game back. See want to.
The line you saw.
Reminded me of San trajectory time.
A lot of. I mean. Like
yeah.
At the end of third.
Right. Nick.
To try to tackle that player.
No.
Not anymore. When you play those games where it's -20,
you know, that's ask out. How about Mountain Ridge? This is their 7th year. First varsity back in 1994. Jim Ewan was their coach for 5 years, but Steve Bellis is the guy that might have been the one that should be credited to kind of build this football team. I know Bobby Green is a guy that was there for 11 years, but Steve Bellis In 5 years at Mountain Ridge, think about that. We know what Bellis did in Hamilton and what a talent that Bellis is. Steve Bellis in 5 years at Mountain Ridge went 47-11. He was KO'd by Hamilton twice, and the irony of that is he became the head coach at Hamilton and won multiple jewelry there. I mean, he is a 6 or 7-time state champion at Hamilton, but you could tell right then in the early years of 2001 through 2005 that Steve Bellis knew something about coaching high school football.
That's an impressive stat line, 47-11.
There goes Muhammad in motion. Cicciarella to the air. They dump it off on a wide receiver screen. Ball's loose, and the pass is incomplete. The target was, it looks like it was Jordan Walker, but at this stage of the game, and again, we started about 45 minutes late due to an unforeseen circumstance with the Mountain Ridge Mountain Lions. Their bus was involved in a minor accident in the early part of the evening. 56-20 here. This one is all over but the shouting. And at this point, Cody, you just want guys to get out of here healthy. But if you're Mr. Dins, there's nothing like, you know, the dagger touchdown in a game like this where you can really start to rally the mental approach as you go into the weekend. You're feeling pretty good about things.
100%. That's why I said pound the rock. In these next series, pound the rock and carry over to the next week.
High snap for Cicciarelli. Dumps it off over the middle. Aiden Evans makes his second catch of the football game. And you look at Evans wearing double fours over there, a tight end, 5'10", 215, a junior. But he's a big boy, and unfortunately this is going to come back. And there have been some situations for Coach Walls. His football team has, well, they've had a battle of self-infliction tonight, Cody.
100%, and we saw it with both teams, especially early on, and that's when the pendulum was swinging, and for a second there, we were talking about, hey, if Apollo can make a stop, we got ourselves 14-7. We said if they can make a stop, that is huge. They get the ball back and tie this game, and then they had back-to-back personal foul penalties for a 30-yard penalty swing, and that killed them, man. So. And we saw with both teams, Mountain Ridge, hey, they won the turnover battle. Adam Muhammad did not beat them in this football game.
Nope.
And they were able to execute Brendan Anderson doing Brendan Anderson things, minus, I think, the interception. He had pretty much a flawless game.
What's that right there? Read that.
11 straight playoff appearances for Mountain Ridge from 2000 to 2011.
Think about that. I mean, it can happen here. Deep ball to Muhammad. That's going to be a pass interference penalty.
On the play.
That came from the umpire. Yep. The field judge didn't even make a call there, and it was clearly his call, or the side judge, but it was the umpire who made the call. And Muhammad was just grabbed and dragged down. Yes, he's going against the twos, but tell you what, you have to be appreciative of Trenton Wilkins and the coverage there. But yeah, when you just look at Mountain Ridge, you go back through their history. We said 27 years, but it was Jim Ewan, Steve Bellis, Bobby Green. Doug Monoski has been there now for 4 years, and Coach Monoski is just 16-16. He's the 5th head coach in the program's history. But you know, Coach Monoski, he knows the game of football, and he's put this offense in, and now kids want to come and play football at Mountain Ridge because they love this offense.
100%, and that's what it's all about. But also getting them prepared for region play. So hey, they're at 500 now. We got to have this intensity and this, winning the offense and defensive line at the line of scrimmage. They got to carry it into region. I don't know if Apollo declined that penalty or they waved it off, but somehow Mountain Ridge has the ball.
I think it was a 4th down play, and they did not move the chains. So Doug Manoski is going to go to the bench, and he's going to bring in another quarterback to take the final snap or two.
Just need a knee, right? We got false start on a knee.
Checking in to take the final snap. Well, you tell me if you can find the number. Let's double check there. Just in case. Now it looks like it's 19. Cody, what do you got?
And we got no 19 on the roster. We got mystery quarterback. Here we go. What's our guy that we say in the Cactus League? What's that guy's? Our guy that wears 3 different numbers.
Booby? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Brian.
What's his? Booby Conley. This is the Booby Conley show at quarterback.
Brian Conley.
Yes.
Brian Conley. We could call him Booby. Good times. 56-20 our score. How about Brandon Anderson? My first chance to look at him up close and personal. 5 touchdown passes tonight. He was brilliant.
Gunslinger, one of the best in the state.
They run it again, and They just continue to pound people. That should be our final point of the game. For the Apollo Hawks, Cody, they get Copper Canyon next week at Copper Canyon. Then they get Goldwater, then Canyon View, at Willow Canyon, Agua Free, and Ironwood. There's a path here for this Hawk football team to learn a lot about themselves after this game here and move into the upcoming weeks with a different idea and a different approach to their season.
Brutal first 4 weeks. Absolutely brutal. When you look at Glendale, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the state, Campo Verde, that is a powerhouse 5A team.
Big time running.
And then you have a 6A game where you're playing against multiple Division I football players. So this was, they were probably the underdogs in most of these games. Hey, the next 2 weeks, very winnable. And then they battle it out against the Canyon View team who's really well coached and with Nick Gertz. But hey, they're on the almost region play of their schedule here, winnable games. And when you have players like Chicharello and Adam Muhammad, good things can happen.
Well, you play tough opponents throughout a lengthy 10-game schedule. You can really only better yourself as you prepare for your own region. They're in the 5A Northwest. We talked about it. That's a winnable region. They went 5-0 in the Metro last year. They can certainly march off 5 straight wins in their region again this year in the 5A Northwest. But as you mentioned, good quarterback play out of Silas Chicharello. He's a talent. Certainly Adam Muhammad is one whale of a player. His 100-yard rushing streak comes to an end here tonight. He does get in the end zone for the 14th consecutive game, so impressive there. But I like the playmaking ability for Apollo. Scott Simmons, their wide receiver, he was involved. And then you talk about some of those guys up front, but Matthew Lado, he was a talent and an awful lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, their offensive line for Apollo is going to keep them in games and win them games in region. People like Matthew Lado is going to make that happen. So they'll be totally fine heading into region play the next couple weeks.
For our very talented broadcast crew here tonight on the Zone 48 Broadcast Network, I want to thank Mr. Greg Jones, our technical producer. I'd also like to thank Kat Jones, our lead camera operator. Joey Mascaro, our cinematographer on the field. My broadcast partner, the color analyst that he is, Cody Cameron. For everybody that has tuned in and watched tonight's game, we appreciate you. We thank you for tuning in tonight. And a special thank you to our presenting sponsor, Trey Clarkson's State Farm Insurance Agency. Contact Trey Clarkson for all of your insurance needs. It goes final here tonight. Great physical health, accompanied by lifelong mental health, is what we all strive for. Remember, it takes one conversation to make a difference in someone's life. For Cody Cameron, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now.